Everybody, Gertlo from Cape Town, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to look at TRT and look at the truth regarding TRT. The mainline news stories that we hear and read about TRT is sometimes quite distorted. They don't take everything into account and they don't look at the whole subject of TRT objectively. And then obviously there's a lot of guys out there that are extremely vocal. So there's a lot of misconceptions about TRT, and I'm going to clear, let's say, the top 5 misconceptions regarding TRT. I'm going to try and clear it up and provide you some truth in this video. In my description of my video, I will list the reference articles that I use to compile my information for the video. The bottom line is, you're a man. Now, unless you want to be type of man where your estrogen levels are higher than your testosterone levels, go for it. I'm sorry, that is not what I see as a man. A man is a protector, he's a warrior, he's a leader of his family, he's a strong man, he's got energy, he's got muscles. That is a man. So this concept that the world lately has, that a man is this feminine type of person, I'm sorry. So this is where we draw the line. Okay, let's start. Let's look at the main tug-of-war opinions out there regarding TRT. Number 1, TRT use will lead to package shrinking for a man. This strikes fear into many a guy's heart. Is this true or is this not true? Let me explain. When one goes for long-term TRT treatment, then your body's own testosterone production will eventually stop. It will take quite a while, but it will eventually stop. Now, your testicles, that is what your factories that produce your testosterone. So when they don't have to produce testosterone anymore, they will stop producing. And when they stop producing, it means that they are shutting down. Shutting down equals to smaller size. So yes, your testicles is definitely going to shrink over time. And if you do it long enough, the TRT, and you do not take any action regarding the testicles, then yes, they are going to reach a point where they won't be able to recover. This is where I've got a huge difference of opinion with the medical community regarding the use of HCG while on TRT. HCG is a compound that allows the male to keep on stimulating the testicles for its own testosterone production while, for example, he is on TRT. So the TRT shuts down the testosterone production of your own testicles, but the HCG keeps on stimulating it. So basically what happens is that while you're doing TRT and you're using HCG, it prevents your testicles from shrinking. Is it 100% perfect? Will you keep your original size? Unfortunately not. When you use these two compounds together, TRT and HCG, I would guesstimate you would keep around about 80% of your testicle size, which for most guys is fine. I mean, most guys don't have a problem keeping just 80% of their size. As long as you keep your functionality of your testes, that's what it's all about. Now, typically, you would use roughly 250 IU to about 500 IU of HCG every second day while on TRT treatment. So that'll be for long term. So year in, year out, this would be your regimen. Once a week, you would use your TRT treatment via injection, and every second day, you will have to do your HCG. But unfortunately, the medical community is far from the point of accepting that you need HCG treatment while you're on TRT. And you would actually struggle to convince your doctor about this fact. You might find a progressive thinking doctor out there that might actually listen to what you're saying, but it's going to be a process to try and change their mind. They just follow their standard guidelines regarding TRT treatment, and HCG unfortunately is not yet part of that treatment. So bottom line, point 1, yes, your testicles is going to shrink, but you can prevent that if you include HCG in your treatment. There is definitely no shrinking of the penis while you're on TRT. So that is just a big lie. Let's move on to the second point. TRT use in men under 45 can cause infertility. Half truth. Let me explain. There's actually been studies where TRT or similar products can be used as potential contraceptives for males. So yes, while you are on TRT, the male stops producing sperm. So for the whole duration while on TRT, you will not produce any sperm. So it's actually a very good contraceptive for a man. And again, this is where HCG comes in. Because if you do not take HCG and you're going on a long-term treatment of TRT, then you will become permanently infertile because your testicles will shrink to the point where they cannot recover anymore. And at that point, when you stop with your TRT, definitely you're going to be infertile. So it's not about under 45s or under 30 or whatever. It's irrelevant the age. If you don't take care of your testicles while on TRT, then you're definitely going to ask for problems at any age. It doesn't matter what age you are. You have to go on an HCG treatment together with your TRT treatment. That would protect your testicles. And that would basically mean that when you stop one day with your TRT treatment, your testicles will be able to recover quickly. So again, yeah, you have to educate your doctor about the use of HCG in such an environment. For number 3, TRT is juicing. Now with respect, anyone that tells me that, you have got no clue what you are talking about. You need to go and educate yourself. Low testosterone is a serious classified medical condition that certain males have. And only under that condition is the use of TRT permitted. When you use TRT within those rules, you are not juicing and you're definitely not doing any steroids. You are treating a serious medical condition, not treating low testosterone. Guys, this means serious depressive states, low energy, serious problems with your libido, erection problems, you struggle to lose fat, you might even have bone density problems, you might even have heart problems. Juicing is when you use testosterone for the primary purpose of adding muscle, and you don't care about using it within the guidelines. TRT is when you only use testosterone under certain guidelines and under doctor supervision to treat a medical condition. Okay, point 4. TRT is expensive. Well, let me put you like this. When you do visit your, let's say, urologist or your sports doctor, and he actually suggests it might be a good idea for you to go on TRT, the number 1 TRT that he's going to suggest to you is going to be Nebido. Now, Nebido is very expensive, and unfortunately, they don't really give you any other options, the doctors, which really makes me mad. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but this conspiracy theory, the doctors prescribe the most expensive medications because they get a kickback. This makes one wonder. But anyway, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but this just doesn't make sense to me that the doctors do not give you any other options. Nebido is seriously expensive. You use it it's a 4 milliliter vial that you use once every 6 to 10 weeks, depending on where you're on your cycle. One of those vials would cost you roughly $200 plus. Now that's a lot of money. But the truth is that the better option would be Depot-Test. Depot-Test is even more effective, especially when it comes to guys struggling with the libido and erection problems. Depot-Test is a 10 milliliter vial and you use it once a week at 1 milliliter per week. It's much better to use because it keeps your blood testosterone levels much more stable, and overall effectiveness is just much better with a Depot-Test. There your price drops already significantly, and it makes it quite viable for most people. There's black market products out there, like let's say Sicone, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's just one of the brands, the big brands out there. Sicone testosterone enanthate. Now, testosterone E or testosterone enanthate, that is similar to Depot-Test. That comes in 10 milliliter vial, but the concentration of the testosterone in that is more than double what the Depot-Test are. So that means you're going to pay roughly $35 and you're going to be able to use it for longer than 20 weeks. So that really becomes very, very cheap. Now, okay, black market products, let's get one thing straight. There's always a risk because there's no regulation that was applied. You don't know how that was made, where that was made, and what exactly is in there. What I can tell you is that there are very, very few guys that really had their fingers burnt with black market products, especially when you stick to the big brands out there, the well-known brands out there. Don't ever fall for the new brand, the cheaper brand, the new guy on the block. You've got no idea where that was manufactured. That could have been manufactured in a guy's garage, for all you know. But you must accept this fact: when you ever venture the route of a black market, there is a risk you take. Most doctors is not going to, as I already mentioned, prescribe the HCG with the TRT treatment for you. So that is another reason why you need to consider the black market option, because that's probably the only place that you're really going to find HCG for your use. So when a doctor tells you it's going to be too expensive or it's going to cost a lot of money, he's not talking nearly all the truth. You need to educate him a little, and if you can't educate him, then just go your own route. But just remember, never go on TRT or HCG if you don't do it under doctor supervision. You need to work with your healthcare provider. Point 5. TRT can be replaced by a natural approach. There is a lot of truth behind that, but unfortunately it is not simplistic. For some people, a natural approach will bring solutions. For other people, it won't. It all depends on why your blood testosterone levels are low. For many guys, it's low because of the way they live. They just don't get the right food in, they don't get enough sleep in, they don't get enough exercise in. So when you, for example, change those type of conditions and maybe you add some healthy supplements to your regime, yes, you may actually be able to change your blood testosterone level for the better. Unfortunately, some guys, this won't be nearly enough, and eventually they've got no option but to go on TRT treatment. Now, the only way you're going to know is that if you do blood work. So you need to do regular blood work to see exactly where you stand with your testosterone levels. I've actually written an article, and I made a previous video out of this. I'm going to put the links for you up on the screen now, that discuss the step-by-step approach that you need to apply to try the natural approach, and then all the steps you need to go through to eventually get to the point of TRT treatment as the last resort. Now, what you must remember, when you use TRT within the scope of what TRT or low testosterone treatment was designed for, then it means that you only go on TRT when you've got low testosterone, and you only go on TRT when you don't exceed your maximum allowable testosterone levels. If any of those 2 points are not met, then you are in the territory of actually juicing. So if you use TRT on top of already healthy testosterone level, you're not on TRT, you are juicing. And you need to be careful with this, because doing that over even a medium to long term can have certain repercussions. The main problem with raising your testosterone levels beyond the maximum level is that your hemoglobin levels in your blood and your hemocratit levels in your blood is going to get raised. If you do it under the TRT guidelines and rules, then it's going to be fairly insignificantly raised. But when you do it outside the rule book, it's going to be significantly raised. And when hemoglobin and the hemocratit levels in your blood are raised significantly, it means you've got too many red blood cells, which will result in 2 things: the hardening of the arteries and potential blood clots. Now, you don't want to venture that route. That is early death we're talking about here. A lot of studies have been done on the use of TRT. All of them confirm that when TRT is used at a maximum dose of 125 milligrams per week, under the rules that we already discussed, when it's used like that within the rules, then the risk is very low for raised hemoglobin and raised hemocratit levels in the bloods. Then it's actually healthy for your body. It's actually good for your heart. It's good for your bone density. It's good for your muscle growth. It's good for your fat loss. It's good for your energy levels. It's good to prevent depression. But when it's used outside the rule book, then you get into all kinds of problems with your raised hemoglobin levels. Remember that testosterone is as healthy to the male body as water. When you use massively excessive water, you can even die. It's not good for you. And the same holds true for anything else. When you use it outside the way it's supposed to be used, you're going to run into serious problems. Guys, I'm asking a small donation. I like to keep all my information and my site free. So if you maybe want to look at the button at the top of the screen, the donation button, if you feel like it, please make a small donation. And then for those people that are interested in my coaching system, I got a system which I'm following myself, which I developed specifically for the older guy. Now this incorporates all this information that I'm talking about in my videos, and it's quite a comprehensive system that is specifically designed for your body and your goals. So if you're interested, I'll put a link for you up on the screen. You can go and have a look there, and you can also sign up through that link. Go and train hard and raise that testosterone. Grow muscle. Cheers. Gert van Cape Town, signing off.